Hey everyone, and welcome to Crypto Mastery. So today what I want to do is walk through three of the coins and cryptos that I'll be investing in during this, well, I guess I wouldn't say bear market because I don't think it really classifies as a bear market, but basically I want to buy in on the dips, right, before we get into another bull cycle and these coins start to rise. So let's get to it. So before we begin, let's take a quick look today again at the crypto fear and greed index. We can see that we're currently at 28. I mean, yesterday we were 25, and then I think the day before we were 16, right? So it actually looks like it's slowly creeping back up, but who knows with this market, right? It could hit further resistance and then go back down. But again, this all indicates to me there are buying opportunities. There are things that I've had my eye on that I can get in, or I kind of, get at a cheap price, or maybe I can fill my bags, right? I can get more of the coins that I really want to hold during 2022 and beyond. So the first coin I want to talk about, or the first crypto investment I want to talk about, top of on one of my list is Polkadot. So if we look at Polkadot from a price perspective today, we can see that, again, it's taken a little bit of a dip. So over the past few days, I think on the 4th, it was a kind of a fairly good price to buy. We can see it was down to around $27-ish. I think the lowest it's been over the last couple of days is around $25. If I just refresh this now and see where we're up to. So I think at the moment it looks like it's hovering around the $28-29 mark. So yeah, it's a fairly good price, right? And like any market where it looks like you're in kind of a bearish situation and people are fearful and they're selling, you can hold off forever to get an optimal price. But I think what you quickly learn is that when you end up holding off for the bottom, you're always chasing a further bottom. So I wouldn't ask yourselves kind of, what is the bottom price you can get for this, but what's a good deal on this based off the trajectory of the project, where you think it's going to be in a year's time and where it's been previously. If you think you're getting a good deal, then that deal should be good enough, right? I mean, if we look at this and we say that, from a Polkadot perspective, it's 25% cheaper than it was a week ago. I mean, for me, that sounds like a pretty good deal. It sounds like you're getting a pretty good price action based off where it was just a week ago. Before I continue on, what I will say is that, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I can only share my personal investments, my personal kind of experience, and kind of what I believe are good investments moving forward. I'd also say, before we move on, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell notification, because there will be more videos like this coming up in the future. So yeah, why do I believe Polkadot's a good investment to kind of to get in on moving forward, whether that be as a new investment or to increase your bags? I mean, I really love Polkadot as an investment. I've already got quite a lot invested into Polkadot currently. And if we look at Polkadot itself, it's just a great ecosystem, right? It's a very solid ecosystem. There's great interoperability. It scales really well. It's cheap when we compare it to something like the gas fees on Ethereum, and it's got other exciting things going on as an ecosystem. One of the biggest things I love about it at the moment is the ability to get in on the parachains and the parachain auctions through crowd loans. So let's take a look at Polkadot's parachains. Now, these are really exciting, and I won't go into the full detail around this because I can save that for another video, but essentially, parachains open up the realm of possibilities to new projects, new developers who want to develop on the kind of, the Polkadot ecosystem. So while other blockchains, and other protocols only really allow the developers themselves to build those dApps using the smart contracts, what Polkadot gives them is full control of the underlying blockchain, and this really creates a lot of flexibility for parachain developers, and it kind of gives them that freedom to optimize for any use case they want to bring kind of to this system. I mean, for me, the exciting piece off the back of this is really the exposure that I would get to then kind of these kind of, projects, these use cases, these new dApps that people kind of want to bring out, because, from the parachains, you have parachain auctions. And then what you have on from an auction perspective is you have the ability to fund crowd loans and kind of, get a return on that. So for instance, for example, and I've already got, a bunch of my dot locked up in this process, but I would essentially loan my dot to a use case or a parachain project for use during their development for a period. And I think the period's around like 48 weeks. So you're looking at having your dot locked up for that period of time. Now, actually, I think it might even be kind of, 96 weeks or something. I think it's around like you could have your dot locked up for like a 2-year period for say, that's kind of held with that project. Now, what they do in return is if you're almost staking or giving your kind of, dot as a loan to these projects, what you get in return is you get some of their kind of equity back, right? So you would get some of their coins back as payment for the loan. Now, different parachains have different amounts you would get back and different mechanisms for where and when you would actually receive your vesting off your kind of, off your investment there. So it really does depend on some of the auctions. And what I might do is I'll do a video walking through some of the parachains that I've been involved with that I feel really strong. I mean, some of them are kind of closed now. Some of them will be active. But it really gives me exposure to these projects. It kind of, there's quite a low risk for me. I am loaning my dot and I'm locking my dot up, but basically that gets released back to me after 2 years, which means after a year or 2 years, depending. And that means that's then mine to do with what I want again. And yes, there's always a risk that in 2 years' time, the dot price could be really low, really I could have lost kind of the ability to like leave a market and get into another one. But I really don't think that's going to happen for Polkadot, right? I really feel that by the time I get that investment back, that investment is going to be worth so much more than it is today. So I'm a huge fan of Polkadot, and I think given the price action currently, given kind of, what you can get for your money, it's definitely one I'll be investing more in. You also just look at their ecosystem, right? It's growing all the time. All the various kind of, substrate-based kind of, apps, the tools, the wallets, the infrastructure, the developer side of things, the validators. I mean, what I'll do is I'll put a link into this ecosystem map in the description below, so you can go and take a look for yourself. It's really interesting to see how much it's scaling and growing over time. So the second token I want to talk about today is FTX. Now, FTX is an exchange token, so think very much like BNB, right? Now, I really want to get in on this because I think this has got huge potential moving forward. I look at kind of, what FTX is doing as a company, all the things they're doing in the sports space. I also look at kind of BNB's journey as well, right? As another exchange token, just where that's come from, where it's gone, and kind of where it is now. I think FTX will be a big mover and will move quite rapidly in 2022. Also, when we look at some of the stuff coming out for, FTX, we can see that, there's some news around, they're going to seek 1.5 billion in new funding round at, a $32 billion valuation, right? So they're going to seek another 1.5 billion in investment. And we all know what's going to happen when they get that investment, right? The price of FTX is going to shoot up. I mean, there's already precedent of these things happening across other coins. We know that when this happens, the price is going to increase. So I actually want to get in on this as early as possible. I don't own any of this at the moment, but today, given where the price action is, given that I've just unlocked some funds, I would probably be investing in this today at some point. I mean, we also look at, the all-time highs from this was $84. Now, we're down at the moment from that all-time high by 50%, right? So there's a 50% difference between where we are now and the all-time high, so it's a potential point. And again, we look over the 7 days, it's 17% discount from 7 days ago, right? So this is on offer right now, this is on discount. Like, why would I not pick this up, like, with my belief of where this is going to go moving forward? So I think this is another one to really watch out for. And, you know, if you want to get in on the next B&B and you've seen how B&B's kind of advanced over time and just how astronomically that's gone, I suggest you look at this and think about how you might want to invest in this piece. And the third and final kind of coin I want to talk about today is Engine. Now, Engine is just huge, right? So if you don't know what Engine is, so basically Engine, how can I describe this? So Engine is the infrastructure for kind of future metaverses, right? It's the things that metaverses will be built on. And I think that's just huge, right? So I like investing in kind of infrastructure pieces like Polkadot, like Ethereum, and like Engine, right? Because it's metaverse and it's gaming related. And I just believe in 2022, this is just going to blow up even further, and metaverses and gaming will be even bigger than it has become this year. I really like kind of Engine in terms of what they're doing, kind of, you know, what they offer to the gaming and to the metaverse space. I think they've got a strong future ahead of them. And I think that because it is an infrastructure piece and because I like investing in infrastructure, this gives me the ability to do that from a gaming perspective. You know, if we look at the growth of metaverse, it's only going to become more important to have strong kind of infrastructure setups to be able to, you know, rapidly spin up new things, or, you know, to spin up things in a scaled and stable way. There's also, like, the other points that, you know, I know that, you know, Engine have sought, like, you know, $100 million investment fund. And basically that's to fund a Polkadot based NFT blockchain called Affinity. And I know that's being funded through one of the crowd loans at the moment that I've invested in from a Polkadot perspective. So all of these things connect for me. So I love Engine, I love the concept. I like the ties to what they're doing in the Polkadot space through Affinity, and I think this is only going to grow in its potential into 2022 and beyond. So really, like, do your research on this, take a look. I mean, I think it's a strong investment to get behind. And again, you know, when we look at this, we can say that, you know, out of the top metaverse coins currently by, you know, market capitalization, we can see you've got, you know, Axie at the top, decentralized sandbox, and then we've got Engine, right? Engine will grow massively over time. I mean, also they're all on offer at the moment, right? We can see the, you know, from Axie right the way down to kind of Engine and Illuvium, we can see, like, the market, the exact trends that they're all following. You can look at these charts and say, well, actually, they're all very, very similar, and they're all on offer at the moment, right? So why would we not want to get in, kind of invested in this? From an Engine perspective, you know, we look at where it is right now. Again, it's like 21% down over the 7 days. It's like around 43% from its all-time high. Again, this is a strong investment. So this was another one I'll be getting in on, as I have, like, real belief this is going to go, like, way higher than this in 2022. So that's it for this episode. You know, these are 3 cryptos I'd really keep your eye on. You know, as I said, they're on offer at the moment. Dips never last forever, so look for a good deal. Don't try and find the best deal, because that's where, you know, I've missed out on doing that in the past, and I think that's where you potentially miss out, because then you end up waiting around for the best deal instead of buying it at a good price. And I think all of these are a good price right now to get in and to get an investment and to make some quick profits. I would also say that hold them longer term is my strategy. So I won't just be taking these, waiting for them to rise and then dumping profits out. I really believe in these projects moving forward, the utility of what they offer, and I really feel that they're a good, strong, long-term investment. But again, all of this is just my personal opinion. You know, do your own research, check things out, and invest kind of, you know, what's right for you. All right, well, thanks for watching. Again, hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time.